One shot. Let's begin. Natsu no Owari ni Yattekita Haru by Matsumoto Hiroshi. Translated up by Hideyoshi Nizanu. Alright, we're on a Hideyoshi Nizanu kick. We're gonna go and we're gonna see all these weird and bizarre stories. And let's begin the weird and bizarre. Spring came at the end of summer, everybody. I think this is the same disclaimer, so we're gonna kind of skip it, okay? Mm. That spring, a strange disease called purple spot disease was spreading like wildfire. So it's just the two of you now. Kitagawa, please start reading from line 6. Yes, sir. I think I'm going to be sad. Mr. Okamoto. It's purple spot disease. Hmm. Do you know how many people in this town haven't contracted purple spot disease yet? I'd say at least 50. Oh, that reminds me. You said that you haven't read the latest newspaper, right? Well, there's a little tidbit about your father in there. The number of people who are infected with purple spot disease is now rapidly approaching 80% of the population. There's been a sharp decline in suicides and homicides, and all the roads have been completely suspended for the past 4 days. As of right now, there have been no reported deaths from purple spot disease. Dr. Kitagawa, a renowned expert in bacteriology, along with dozen or so scientists, are working tirelessly to identify what the cause of the disease might be. All right. Mako, let's head over to my dad's laboratory. All right. They all look like they're dead, but they're all still alive. There it is. The laboratory looks a lot like a forest. Let's see. Dad! Oh, Takeshi, what's up? Is there a cure for purple spot disease? Last spring, when Mount Tsukuba violently erupted and shocked everyone in Japan, a virus was discovered in its volcanic ash. That virus would turn out to be the thing that was responsible for causing purple spot disease. However, with our current medical knowledge, we aren't able to stop the virus from spreading. Well, if that's the case, Dad, then what's going to happen to all the people in town who contracted purple spot disease? Well, we've been trying to figure that out by conducting various experiments on animals right now. But there's still a lot of strange things about the symptoms of purple spot disease that we don't fully understand. Like, for example, those infected with purple spot disease can survive months without eating any food, and the necks of those infected will also swell to an abnormal size. Doctor, the animals, they're changing shape. They're changing shape? Please, come over here as soon as possible. What's going on? Doctor, look. What is this? Are humans going to end up looking like this? If things continue like this, then by the end of the summer, humans will also... cicada sounds. Chip, 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 chip. Whatever it sounds. Near the end of summer, every single human had contracted purple spot disease. I could smell the rain in the distance. Summer is almost over. The sun is blazing down on me, and yet I feel just as cold as I would be on a winter day. Oh, it started to rain. When the rain that had been falling for several days finally stopped that morning, the purple spot of those infected had completely vanished. People all over town got up and started walking, and soon enough began to bloom. Ah, I could feel the sunlight seeping into my body. I never knew sunlight could feel so good. It's so quiet. All I can hear is my heartbeat. The roots grew closer together until they eventually merged into one. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Mako, can you hear me? I can hear you, Kitagawa. I can hear everything that you're thinking and worrying about. The petals gradually became more and more transparent, and with each person's roots connecting to one another, they began to shine and glimmer rainbow hues while bathing in the light of the setting sun. Ah! It feels like I'm being drenched in a rain of light. Spring came at the end of summer. So, um, This is probably the best Hide or what's his name? Masamura Hiroshi work I've read. Just because this one, I think it's bizarre, but in like a more horrific ways than the other ones. Um, because and we'll talk about the other ones before we get into like a comparison because I want to really compliment this one here. Come on. So of the ones we read, where are they? We read this one, which was just kind of strange. It was him like wanting to play music with his cat. So okay, fair enough, straightforward. That one had a lot of references I didn't quite get. Then we had this iceberg one, which I thought was interesting. Heels in 1977. It's just that it feels like it's a lot more of an exposition dump, and then you're expecting something to happen, and then they turn into dolphins. So it's bizarre. The theme is kind of strange. And then I believe this was the other one we just read. Yeah, this one I think was more like, oh, fair enough. It's more bizarre. You have a little bit of surreal horror here, but not really. And then they on the moon, then they go back to the real world and they're gigantic or small, right? This one I think is the most consistently horrific one that we've read. Like, okay, they're turning into plants. There's a disease. All of humanity's going, and then everybody's slowly getting infected, right? And what part of what I was sort of thinking of too is I could see this as being like an earlier Junji Ito inspiration. Junji Ito could have read some of these bizarre things and be like, whoa, just a little bit of like working around, and then this could become horror, right? And I think that that's kind of the next thing, right? Is that this could easily become horrific under the right circumstances, you know? Uh, sorry, I'm doing my emergency gummies. See, I'm almost there for my health. And so, like, the concept of them turning into plants and kind of all becoming this one being or this one hive mind, I really dig it. And then just the design being more horrific and like, ugh, I think it's perfect. Like, this is scary. I think if this was done like in a Junji Ito and a little bit more explicitly horror concept, it'd be kind of praised. And this would sit alongside like a modern Junji Ito, like the horrors of this disease, and it's pretty unique too, right? I can't think of anything where like they turn into plants and then boom, like that. And that's a mark of Junji Ito's work, right? He likes to create original horrors more so often, and so I like this. I think it's leaning more into the bizarre, surreal horror, especially with the design and everything. And I mean, even this, like, that is horrific. And then, we don't need an explanation for everything. And then they become plants. It's like, oh, lovely, right? They get the little goiter and they become a flower. And that is scary in a nutshell type of sense, you know? Um, yeah, right. And so, yeah, I like this. It's bizarre, but the fact it leads a little bit more into the horror aspect, maybe I'm just projecting, is solid. So yeah, I think if continue on this path, it'll be good and solid. So maybe Masamori Hiroshi has a lot more historical stuff than I recognize, but we'll go from there. So awesome. I'm very close getting better. My voices are slowly there. I'm still having a coughing fit occasionally, and I still sound a bit hoarse according to my mom, or a bit like I'm congested. So soon enough. But with all that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for being born, y'all. Peace out.